everybody, my name is Jodi Ohl and I am here today to do a demo for you featuring some products from Splash of Color. We are going to do what I like to refer as a painted collage. It's quick and easy, and really there's no right or wrong way to do it, but I'll show you a few things about the products that we're going to feature today, such as the yummy and colorful silks, which are commonly known as, which is basically a paint, but more so as they're more like a glaze. They're infused with mica chips, or mica flakes rather, and that gives it a really nice glimmer and dries to matte sheen, which is beautiful. I have assorted colors with that. We're also going to use modeling cream from Viva, and it differs from modeling paste because it is a cream, kind of like a gel-like consistency. And a variety of different things that you can use. Some suggestions might be some stencils, your favorite stencils. I have a couple that I'm going to feature today using from Splash of Color, Stencil Girls, and Crafters Workshop. So I have a couple of those. You'll need some of your favorite papers. I chose a couple from our line of paper. The one's Renaissance. It's a black and white type. And some cream music, so whatever you like best. You'll need a laser copy of one of your photos, and I'm going to use this pink one right here for your collage elements. We're going to do an image transfer, so you'll need some packing tape, and if you want to, you'll need something to adhere your paper with, and that can be Mod Podge, whatever your favorite adhesive is. And if I think of anything else, we'll surely add to that list. And that's the beautiful thing about mixed media. You can add really anything to the recipe and it will come out great. So here is I'll show you the journal page that was inspired. So I first did a project in my journal, and it features a lot of writing, the image transfer, and some stickers too. That's another thing you could add if you'd like. And then I went ahead and kind of mimicked that and made it into a larger canvas. So you can really do it on any size, whether it's a journal, canvas, or some sort of wood board. Here's another version without using the image transfer, so just a lot of fun mark making and kind of a milky Alright, so just getting set up. The paints themselves, you can choose to use whatever colors you want. I've picked out a few that I think will work well. I may or may not use them all. But this is spicy tomato. I have apricot nectar. Oops. We have sunburst, nice yellow. This is plumeria. And cinnamon brown, just to kind of give it some neutralization. And as I mentioned before, some of the modeling cream. This is, let's see what color this is. This is the pearl. So now the thing about, I'm sorry, the thing about the silks, they do have so much pigment in them, and they are glazes, that they do take a little bit, they have a little bit more open time, and to fully cure, they do take, it says 72 hours, but actually it's a little bit longer than that, depending on your humidity. So I always err to the cautious side of a little bit longer. Now, what that would affect is if you use silks underneath an acrylic color, is that it would the pigment would kind of come up through the paint. So for example, if I use white on the say for example, I paint my surface with the pink, and then I add the white over top of it. The pink will rise a little bit. So just kind of keep being mindful of that. That could work to your advantage if you want like a softer look, or it could change the whole look of the collage when you're done. Now the beauty of the silks is because they're translucent. You can kind of layer them. You can paint more than one, like more layers of the colors to really get a nice deep look. So we're going to start with just basically taking your collage papers, and you're going to want to adhere them to your gessoed surface. So I already went ahead and I gessoed this surface. So as far as like where to put the collage papers, just wherever you want that's a pleasing to you. I like to kind of frame things out a little bit, and I'm going to put the image not quite in the center, but kind of in the middle. So, you know, I'm going to be mindful of that when I add the collage. So I'll be back in just a second. Go ahead and add your collage, my collage elements onto my surface in a manner that I just found appealing. And who knows, I may turn the thing around and decide to do it a different way, but just wanted to add a few papers. And the thing about the collage elements is that they're really just to add some background texture. They may or may not. Okay, so then the next thing you want to do for our project is to grab your image that you selected. I kind of shifted gears because the image that I selected didn't turn out that great as far as the transfer goes. It actually was an inkjet image rather than a laser transfer like I thought. So I found a laser transfer or laser image photocopy. What you're going to want to do is to take your packing tape, you want to put it across your image fully and try to make it nice and flat so there's no bubbles. You're going to want to make sure the edges all meet. They cross over a little bit, that's fine, but just try to smooth it out and make sure there's no bubbles. This is a good thing to do while your collage piece dries, and so then when we go to paint, it'll be all nice and dry to the touch. Okay, so once your tape is all adhered, then you want to just trim it up. This actually will probably work better. This is a 5x7 image because since I'm doing a 12x12 piece, it'll take up more room. One thing about the image transfers, if you don't have a whole lot of pigment, like in the design, you're gonna, and the transfer itself is gonna be pretty light. So this is actually a pretty light. I'm just gonna trim this up a little bit more. This is a pretty light copy. It's not gonna be a real dark, so that'll be nice, a subtle kind of background element. So once you have that all trimmed up, and it looks like I did trim it up a little bit more, but I'm gonna take the back of either a spoon, a scissors, bone folder. I'm gonna burnish that image nice and hard onto the tape. So what essentially you're gonna do is you're gonna take the ink, it's gonna lift into the tape, and then we're going to turn it around and wet the back of it and peel off the paper backing. So go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and burnish my image, and I'll be back in 1 second to show you how to roll the paper off. Okay, so now that your image is all burnished, you just take some a spray bottle and wet the back. I'm going to saturate that, kind of let the ink kind of flow through the back. Give it a couple seconds. And then you're going to, starting from the middle, you're going to want to roll the paper towards the outer edges. So you want to do this kind of gently. And it takes a little bit of elbow grease there. And you just kind of gently roll that paper off. You can kind of start to see the image kind of come through. I'll give you a close-up here. There you go. You have to mind my stained hands. I am a full-time artist, so I don't do manicures, at least not normally, because I'm always into ink and paint and all sorts of goodies. So, but you can start to see that image roll come through. So if you want to continue to do that until all the paper is off. Now you may have to, every once in a while, wipe the lint or paper pieces off. You want to keep on doing that. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll do it fully once, and then I'll let it dry, and then I'll do it one more time just to get any residual paper off. If you want to be careful too, just one other tip, to do it kind of gently, because if you do it too hard, the ink will come off. Now that may not be a bad thing. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if it does, but if you want a more intact image. Now that I've got all the paper off of the image, or most of it anyways, you can see the advantage of having the image transfer is you can kind of see the paper underneath poke through, so that's kind of fun little element. It's very subtle, so whereas of course if it was opaque you would not see that under layers. So based on your image, you may decide, like, okay, you may want to think about where you want to place it. I think I've decided to put it in between these two papers that I had at the bottom or maybe even the 3 papers. That might be cool too. So I'm just going to keep that in mind, so when I go paint the backgrounds, I know exactly what I want to peek through and where I want the rest of my collage to, or the painting to kind of come together. So the next thing you're going to want to get out is the some white acrylic paint, or if you want to just use some gesso, what we're going to do is just simply kind of soften part of this background up on top with some of the white gesso. So bear with me 1 second.